Hi guys, I'm back with another video, and I decided that I wanted to talk about something I find kind of interesting. So I'm a huge Brockhampton fan, and I've seen, ever since they broke up, I've seen tons of videos of people kind of putting together compilations of some of the albums that they may have released, were going to release, teased. And today I want to talk about two specific ones. I want to talk about Puppy, and I want to talk about technical difficulties. Because I made my own version of Puppy. I'm going to link it down below in the description. I have a Google Doc if you want to download it and try it for yourself. But I don't really want to talk so much about my specific version of Puppy, just that I find the whole community around Brockhampton and trying to keep their unreleased projects alive very interesting. There's so many YouTube channels that, dedicate their time to creating remixes and cleaning up unreleased song snippets and leaks and trying to cobble together some kind of, listenable version of some of these songs that we only got to maybe hear once, or we only got to hear certain chunks of it. I know that leaking music and, paying off leakers, it's a bad part of the music industry because it kind of perpetuates the whole problem of artists having stuff out there that's not what they intended for their audience to hear. It's just as bad, maybe in some ways, to people as posthumous releases when an artist passes away. So I get the criticism against leaking music, but for the music that's already been leaked, that obviously you can't do anything about at this point, it is interesting to see how much dedication there is to trying to craft something out of all the pieces that get put out there on the internet for people to listen to. There's a lot of albums that have unreleased, versions and, are very notorious on the internet. A lot of stuff from Kanye, Playboy Carti. I know he's pretty notorious. He has a lot of stuff out there that fans have put together. But for me, as a big, huge Brockhampton fan, they're my go-to band. That it's like anytime I see like a new leaked snippet, I'm right there listening to it. There's certain songs that they're always gonna want. Ready for War is like at the top of everybody's list. My compilation, my version of Puppy includes Ready for War, and it's cleaned up, but that song still sounds like crap, so it would be nice to someday see it cleaned up enough, or just have a studio version leak of it. Ever since Amir Van teased the documentary, was it Lost Dog? Full Dog? I can't remember, but the documentary that he's coming out with, and he has snippets from Puppy, it feels like in a small way, he's seen all of the people going crazy for Puppy, and he wants to give them a little something. I find it very suspicious in a way that for the longest time, the worst part of Ready for War, by far, was Bareface's, outro. And now it's, the best sounding part of that song, of the versions that fans have put together, because the rest of the song has so many sections that are, just beat up. That song has been just mutilated. But there are other songs, there are other projects of theirs that sound way better. Technical Difficulties sounds like a released album. I mean, there's different track lists, but a lot of the versions on YouTube, they just sound like released albums. I'm assuming it was all to do with the sample clearance on most of those songs, because if not, I have no idea why they didn't release the album as is. It has to be for a financial reason, because the album sounds amazing. I'm assuming it's the sample thing, because I think there was an interview, not an interview, it was Danny Brown, when he was on his podcast, was discussing how much Atrocity exhibition had like bankrupted him.
I'm definitely still in the red with that album, and and you motherfuckers don't wonder why y'all get music from me all the time. I can't put out. I gotta get out of debt. You get what I'm saying? I would delete Atrocity Exhibition in a heartbeat. I spent 70,000 in samples, and the motherfucker sold 7,000 the first week. I think someone lost a deal. But that's my first time, man. That was like, man, the record label, they gave me a budget. That's my first time ever working with an album with a budget. You know, they gave me $100,000, and I'm like, I'm going to go crazy. I ain't about to go cheap out and then pocket the rest. Because, you know, that's what a lot of motherfuckers do. They'll be cheap as fuck with this, and you know what I'm saying? And they pocket the rest of the money. But me personally, I was like, man, I'm going to go all out. Now, I didn't know the samples were going to get up to that high. And then I still, because I went over the budget, I spent $50,000 on mixing and mastering. You get what I'm saying? So
with all the sample clearance, he owed so much money for that album. And it sounds amazing, but you know, every time you use a sample, you got to clear it with the original artist and like label, and it gets expensive. So I can completely see why Technical Difficulties was not put out for that reason. I kind of wish they would have just put it out as a mixtape, because obviously the mixtape situation, you can put it out for free because you're not making any money off of it. But I mean, they put a lot of work in, so I can see why they didn't want to just put it out there for free in a way. I hope someday, maybe like, 20 years from now, maybe hopefully sooner, we'll start seeing Brockhampton re-releases like we see with like the Beatles, where we'll get like deluxe versions of all these albums, and it includes all the songs they ever worked on. I don't really have a point. Normally my other videos, I've usually have like some kind of main structure, but I think I just wanted to talk about Brockhampton and how much I enjoy the community, even though they're now broken up. Obviously, everybody's looking forward to a lot of their solo material. Kevin's really the only one who's put a lot of stuff out. Merlin and Amir recently put out their own tape, which I thought was okay. I'm looking forward to Kevin. I like Kevin's stuff. I'm looking forward to Matt and Joba's stuff, especially. I really enjoy Matt's voice, and Joba's voice is, I think he has the most range of the whole group. I debatably, but I really like Joba. I think he's got a lot of range, and I'm very curious about what Dom's gonna do. I think Dom might be the best like rapper of the group. I think he could be on a lot of stuff. I really think, it'd be interesting to see him blow up as like a feature artist and, work with some big producers. It'd be kind of cool. So, I'm going to stop there. I really like Brockhampton. And if you have time and you want to get into Brockhampton, I recommend you start with the Saturation Trilogy. It's very good. Saturation 2 is my favorite of those 3 albums. After that, I really like Iridescence. Ginger, I think, is good, but I will admit Ginger is one of my lesser favorite albums. It's very good if you're in kind of a dark place, because it's kind of a darker album, but I still, it still has its highlights for me. I think Roadrunner is their best album after the Saturation Trilogy, and if it had come out, I do think Puppy might have been their best album based on what we heard, just the leaks. And Technical Difficulties, I think, would have been really, really interesting to see it come out, maybe have some changes made to Roadrunner, because a lot of the tracks that ended up on Technical Difficulties were kind of redone and, remixed for Roadrunner. It seems like they took certain elements from those sessions and turned them into Roadrunner tracks. So it could have been cool to see it maybe like a double album type of thing. But again, it was probably the samples, but it would have been cool to see it come out in some capacity. So maybe someday. I'm hopeful. I'd like to see them all get back together and drop Puppy. Maybe they can, I don't know, maybe tensions can be eased. I know that, I don't think Dom would ever want to work with Amir. I don't know, not totally clear what led to their breakup. But it seemed like, you know, probably some of it's an ego thing, you know, a lot of, you know, members in the band. Probably just two, being in a group like that, you know, wanting to make your own thing, you know. A lot of those groups don't stay together. So, you know, NWA, Wu-Tang, you know, they want to be able to make their own thing, and I can respect that. So, but I do still enjoy the music they made. So, yeah. Thank you.